So we have a motion to exit closed session, please.
I move that we exit closed session.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Thank you. So a motion to certify.
So moved.
A motion and a second to certify, so we have a roll call.
Chair Miller?
Aye.
Vice Chair Travis?
Aye.
Director Farrell?
Aye.
Director Johnson?
Aye.
Director Broughton? Director Stanton?
Aye.
And Director Elliott?
We don't have any action, right?
We do.
We do need action on approving a Balzer drawing, and I would just say up to $2,500, since we're talking about two different concepts, and they've provided one concept at $1,250.
And our concept is going to be the split lot with whatever development we might anticipate.
We can go with the split lot by itself, and then we can go with the split lot with utilizing the other customers' parking, and then go back to the company with that.
That's the best way to do it, I think. Again, you want to give them some incentive to go the other way.
So what's the motion need to be exactly?
The motion is to approve up to $2,500 for Balzer to complete two concept drawings on Lot 3.
So do we have a motion to that effect?
I move that we approve up to $2,500 to Balzer and Associates for the two concept drawings.
Okay, do you have a motion? Do you have a second?
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Thank you. Okay, general business.
All right. Hopping again back to Falling Branch Phase 2, Site 2, past FedEx. So May was a very wet month, and the company has asked for 11.5 weather days in May. They could have asked for more, so we granted them the full 11.5 days. May was pretty much a mud puddle. And this week, we've had good thunderstorms in June, which when I rode out there last week, there was actively mud sitting on the site. So they just started working again Friday. And so we have the road in, we have the water line in, the town of Christiansburg's testing the water line. They have to do the same bacteria testing that the county had to do during the last hurricane on the water tanks. And so change order number 5 set substantial completion to April 19th with 11 days for May. That gets us up to the end of April, roughly April 30th, May 1st. And due to the wet grading, we're not going to meet the June 30th timeline for grading with our Go Virginia grant and the sewer pump station. We've asked for a 1-year extension for the $300,000. Basically, they need 4 to 5 good weeks to finish this project up. And if they can get that, then we'll be in good shape. If not, if we keep on getting the rain we've been getting, it's going to delay things. But from I guess our 2 grant perspectives, we're in good shape. Nobody's will claw back the money. And thus far, it hasn't cost us any more on the contract other than the change orders we've committed.
Well, it's, other than slap and dash thunderstorms, typically we're coming in dry weather.
Yes, sir.
Should be okay.
So this is the change order number 5 that set the days to April 19th. And then this is the pay order number 10, $58,212. So a pretty small one coming out of May overall. And the contract work for it was mainly just grading and the water line. But Rachel went out with public information and took some really good aerials. Let me see if I can load these all the way up. So this is looking at the site from you're facing northwest. You can see the big 3 big brown patches. They're trying to dry out the dirt. They're disking it. And so they're running a tractor in circles and spreading out the dirt. The 2 big mounds towards the front is the topsoil they have to deal with. And we did approve a change order allowing them to store that in front of the stormwater pond. A little bit closer view from the back. If you look to the far right, that's about a 20-foot slope right up against the Teal property line. So right now that looks like that's all in good shape. As I mentioned, we just need some good weather to wrap this up. And Alacran is moving forward with their 2 buildings. One's 12,000 square feet and one's 17,000 square feet. They got in under the wire to use our stormwater pond last year. They had their plan submitted. So they don't have any stormwater on site, and they're really maximizing the use of the property.
That all drains down to that pond in the foreground.
Yes. All drains down to our, well, no, that is FedEx pond. It drains down to our master pond for phase 1. I can get there. Here.
Oh, okay.
It drains up,
Yeah.
goes all the way down Technology Drive to our
Good.
large pond.
Okay.
The Alacran buildings are looking good. They put a lot of time and money into getting these buildings ready. Anybody have any questions before I move on?
No, just, they're making good progress.
They are.
When do they expect to be operational?
They started in the winter. I'd say probably on the building, they've taken, so they did a 4-foot compacted footer, which is very unusual to have that deep of a footer. And the building is getting, it got a building wrap, it got painting insulation, they're putting insulation up, then they're putting the metal itself. So I would say they should be done by the end of this year, but I don't know what else they have planned for
For the inside, yeah.
inside. I think spare no expense is kind of how this project's going, and they're doing it right.
So they could be ready by next winter.
By, yeah, into 2025, beginning 2026, because they pretty much got it all closed up. And this is lot 8 above it, looking down to the north. And they did a little work for us in demolishing some of the trees on the property line. Any other questions?
Other than the one discussed in closed session, what lots and sizes remain?
We have one lot that is 3 acres, which is we discussed in closed session, which is here, and we have the 20-acre graded lot. And that's all the lots we have right now. So we do have to be picky with what we do going forward. Any additional questions? All right. So the last business before it is some hydraulic monitoring from H&P with the Elliston Lafayette Industrial Park. So during Hurricane Helene, the county had to, of course, cut the water off, scrub the tanks, put them back in service. And for the folks in Elliston Lafayette Industrial Park, this means they lost their fire suppression, which was more important than the bathrooms. They could have brought in temporary bathrooms, but not fire suppression. So in kind of working with the companies down there, we reached out to H&P. And Brenda, you want to talk about it? Because you've worked with it the most.
We talked with H&P about going down there and doing some testing on where to where the water flows now, down there. So they are gonna do two different, where the hydrants are on two of the different streets in Bynum, Gardner Street and the other one out from Row. I can't remember exactly where it is. But, they can determine whether or not, if they do this, that the next time a problem like this occurs, that they would have the available water that they need. And we'll move forward with it. They're gonna do one of the tests first, and then if they think this is gonna work, they're gonna go ahead and do a couple more tests to complete it.
So we will utilize funds from the EDA reserve, which is over $300,000 at this point. So it's not like a loss of funds, but this study might mean something and will mean something to the tenants of Bellis Lafayette Industrial Park Phase 1 and Phase 2. Right now, their full service is coming off a 12-inch water line coming down the mountain, down to their facility. So we're just trying to see, are there any other options that we could help them with?
And if the preliminary modeling is unfavorable, they're gonna stop and say,
Yes.
okay, what are our options to give these guys fire suppression?
Correct.
There's a grant that just came out from the EDA, federal EDA, to do planning and infrastructure work for, to make things more disaster resilient or to deal with what's happened since the disaster. I've been looking at it for some other tourism projects, but I wonder if it might be related here with matching funds. I can send it to you.
That's definitely something we can look at.
Okay. I know it's like a rolling
Is it like
application.
mitigation?
It's like rebuilding and also future mitigation for certain industries. So I feel like we might have because it's an industrial park, we would have that that connection there. It's always nice to get matching funds. Okay, I'll send you the
Thank you.
RFP for that.
Nobody has any questions? If I can get a motion for the H&P proposal for $8,500.
I move that we approve to do the hydraulic modeling. Profit.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
And Carly, why don't you talk about the broadband? Wrong thing. Okay, let me close it.
But anyways, there was a representative from Gigabeam that came and spoke at the Board of Supervisors meeting last night, and there were AP representatives in attendance as well. I don't really need the slides, but
Sorry.
it's okay. VATI 2021 is complete. Last week, Gigabeam was out running speed test during peak hours, so we're waiting on getting those results and then just signing stuff, gathering risk paperwork to close that out. There were 1,292 passings that needed to be serviceable by that grant, and there are 1,320 serviceable passings. So they put in 7.5 miles of new fiber to get that project complete. And then they said last night there's a little more mileage than this now, but when I made the slide, they had 283 miles built for VATI 2022. I think it's probably 293 now. And then that's just Gigabeam's fiber. There are 710 active passings in VATI 2022, so 2,030 total active or serviceable passings. And then AEP shared some of their segment updates last night as well. They have their Lead Mine Childress route complete and their Plum Creek Edgemont route complete, and then you can see on the slides the progress that they are making on the other routes. So, and they went ahead and shared more about the process for citizens. Like, you might see people come in a string fiber, and then here's why there's the delay. They explain splicing, and they said that their goal was for them to have all of their fiber in place in the next few months, and AEP's fiber in place by the end of the year, and then splicing and testing to occur after that, weather depending. So they said that was their goal. Does anyone have any questions about that? Is there anything else you guys can think of that they mentioned?
Right now, Ryder's getting a good swarm of people installing fiber, so that's a very good sign.
I do think it's important what you said, Carly, about how they explain that just because you see that swirling of fiber doesn't mean that that's really where they're gonna be next. You know, that might not be the final connecting.
Right.
Yeah, they tried to explain the network design and how that stuff works a little bit.
They are putting all the pieces in different places, and one day they're gonna connect them all together and it's gonna be available. But people just see the pieces, they don't understand why has that fiber been in my yard for 9
I
months
can't use
and
it.
I don't have service. It's because there's a lot of other pieces that aren't put together yet. And sometimes they don't make logical sense based on what AEP calls them or Gigabeam calls them as to why they're connected to each other. Like some of the Eastmont people are waiting on what AEP calls the Reiner loop. So that makes no logical sense to people who live here.
We're just calling it by substation name.
Right.
The 216 route goes right up 460 and right past Roanoke Street from Roanoke County, Floyd, all the way to Pulaski. I would love to pay $89 for 1 gig up, 1 gig down, true 1 gig up, 1 gig down. So if it's coming your way, please sign up.
That is a good price.
And these were the takeaways.
Okay, do we have anything else on the broadband? So, is there anything else that we need to talk about? So our next meeting is when?
July 17th, I believe.
It's July. It's 22nd? 15.
July 15th.
Weeks.
And depending upon how far we get with our current prospect, that meeting may or may not be needed, but we'll see how, we'll let you know in advance.
Okay, well, if there's nothing further, then we'll be adjourned.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.